Joking aside, obviously none of these are actually answering our question. How fat are Scrooge's stacks in real terms? Multiple outlets have tried to calculate his worth, they just don't do that good of a job with it. For instance, Forbes magazine in that richest fictional character list estimated Scrooge's earnings in 2007 to be $28.8 billion, then bumped it up to $44.1 billion in 2011 due to the rise in gold prices. But they never actually say where they got those sorts of numbers. And the website The Billfold uses cool equations, but misses out on just how deep Scrooge's money bin is. So, with a reboot of the series coming to Disney XD on August 12th, one that, all Disney XD sponsorship of this episode aside, legitimately looks great. Seems to stay true to the spirit of the original series and has a very cool comic aesthetic, so as someone who grew up on these cartoons, I hope it does really well. Check it out if you're interested. And the question still at large after all of these years, it is time to put my theorist hat into the ring and answer the age-old question, just how much money does Scrooge McDuck have in that famous money bin of his? Now, obviously, with the Disney XD series coming out, I wanted to start there. Unfortunately, because it's not out yet, footage right now is limited to the trailer, the opening theme song, and a couple of spare teasers. So I'm not really able to get a good sense of the dimensions inside the bin. But that doesn't mean we're out of luck. Not only do we get a good general sense of the size and shape of the bin from the outside, looking very similar to the design from the original TV series, the trailer gives us our first major clue. And I do mean major.
I run a multi-trillion-dollar business.
This is, according to my research, the first time the series has put a real-world number to Scrooge's wealth, putting it in the trillions. But when it comes to money, that's a huge number, over 20 times the highest estimates Forbes gave him. So today we won't just be testing out how much money he has, but also how well this new reboot knows dear old Scroogey. Usually when I'm writing these theories, I need to scrape around for whatever information I can find. This theory actually has the opposite problem. For the first time in the history of these shows, there's too much information. The statistics you see about the money bin are constantly changing in both the comics and the original series. For instance, in the very first panel of the comic Only a Poor Man, we see a depth gauge in the money bin that reads the building is 79 feet deep with coins and bills. Not a shabby place to start. In another comic, The Pixelated Parrot, we get a ton of information. Or more accurately, 90 tons of it, since that's supposedly how much cashola Scrooge is keeping in the bin. And earlier in that same comic, we see him counting his money again, confirming he has 9 billion trillion and two $1,000 bills stored in his vault. We even get in yet another comic that he has 3 cubic acres of money. Obviously a joke, since an acre is a measure of area and not volume. If you did indeed have a cubic acre, you would have created a 4-dimensional space, a 3-dimensional space existing in a specific time frame. At that point, screw how much money he has, the size of his wealth would seriously be ripping through the laws of the universe. There are even blueprints of the money bin. In the 2001 comic, The Beagle Boys vs. the Money Bin, we learned that the vault is actually a 13